Hey, hey, hey! Guess what? It's that time again. Keto Chat Live. Are you considering a keto diet, but are you afraid if you cut out certain food groups that it's not going to be very nutritious? You're going to be missing very important vitamins and minerals. Are you maybe following keto and wondering the same thing? Oh gosh, I'm afraid that I'm actually not eating very healthfully. Maybe I'm losing weight, but is this a really healthy diet that I can actually follow? That's the one reason, the one and only reason I'm here today is to dispel that myth. So I put together a couple of dietary plans. One is that something my clients would actually eat, what I would have them eat. And another one is a low fat, low calorie diet that I just found online on Medical News Today. So let's do this, you all. Welcome everyone to Keto Chat Live. I'm your host, Carol Freeman. I am a board certified keto nutrition specialist. I have a master's degree in nutrition and in clinical health psychology. I specialize in helping women 40 plus follow a keto diet to lose weight and to keep it off, and in a very healthy way. So let me just cover the medical disclaimer, keep the lawyers happy today here. This show is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not medical advice, nor is it intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any condition, disease, illness, problem. If you have questions or concerns that relate to your specific health, please seek out care of a qualified healthcare professional. And all right, welcome to the show, everyone. This is an interactive show. If you haven't been here before, give me a comment, share where you're joining from, and we will make you part of the show. I'm so glad you're here. And so let's see, starting out, let's see, what are some nutrients of concern on a standard low fat diet? Let's just have some quiz here. Um, a lot of my ladies, probably almost all of them, have tried every diet under the sun, and many of them have been low fat, low calorie diets over the years. So just give me a why in the comments there if you at some time in your history have ever followed a low fat, low calorie diet. If you're a lot like everyone else in the world, I'm going to see a lot of yeses here. So let's give me a why in the comments if you're somebody who's ever tried a low fat, low calorie diet. So glad that you're here. Personal news, I would just give you an update of what's coming up. I'm excited. I've got some travel coming up in 2022. I've been selected to be a speaker at PodFest in Orlando, Florida in May of 2022. Very excited, thrilled, and honored to be selected one of their speakers. I'm actually going to go and teach what you're listening to here, what you're joining live here. This show is almost a year old, and I've learned a lot along the way about how to structure the show, broadcast it live so that people can watch it in the moment and participate, but also participate in it after it's a recording as well. So I get to go speak there, and I actually have the opportunity to sponsor somebody to go to cover their conference fee. And so stay tuned, keep coming back to the show. I want to give some details about how you can enter to win free entrance into the conference in Orlando, Florida. And let's see, I said it's in May, right? And also, I also have a special promo code. Oh, I should look that up. And if you're interested, so PodFest, it's going to be the largest podcasting conference, I dare say, in the world. So they're on track right now to have over 2,000 people in attendance at this conference. So it's going to be really exciting. And I hope that I get to meet at least one of you there. And so somebody, have you been to Orlando? Give me a comment. I've never been there before, so I'm going to have to go to Disney World as well, just because when you're right there, you might as well go. And so if you got some tips for me about Disney World, I need them. I need all the tips I can get because I've never been there before. I'm probably going to try to do maybe 2 or 3 days, pick some highlights of it. It's not going to give it a full week that I think it deserves, but I'm going to do what I can while I'm there. So let me give you my promo code for the trip. I should have had this up here already. And Oh, did I put it in here? I think I put it in here. Oh, here it is. And so I will put the link in the show notes here. And my promo code is going to save you 20% off of the conference fee. So I'm going to put the link in the chat box. Let's see where that shows up. Okay, so that's in event. It shows up on YouTube right now, and it's also on my my business Facebook page, Keto Carol. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't allow it to go into the Facebook group. So if you're watching me on there, comment and I'll come back and I'll add it later. So for whatever reason, Facebook rules let me broadcast it to you on the page right now. But let's see, we've got. So nobody's in there right now, but I'll go back and add it later. So anyways, that link directly will get you that 20% discount off of the conference tickets. So I hope I get to see one of you there. So, or more, many of you. All right. So that is some announcements. I also will be going to, so this is about the middle of May where PodFest is. And again, it's a podcasting conference. And then early May, I'll be at Metabolic Health Symphony. It's not the symphony. That's not what it's called. Metabolic Health Symposium. It's going to be in Santa Barbara, California this year. Last time I went to this conference was 3 years ago. You know, things have been going on in the world. And so I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite health and wellness and low carb keto conference there is. They've got top-notch speakers there, and it's really, they put on a really good conference too. So I recommend that one as well too. I don't have any discount codes for that one, but stay tuned. Maybe I'll get to have something coming up. So, all right. So today, again, if you missed it, I am here to talk about the myth, the legend that keto diet is somehow unhealthy. I have put together two menus for you. One is a low calorie, low fat diet. I pulled it directly from Medical News Today. And I'm going to compare that to a very typical day of eating that I would have my clients do on keto. And we're going to look at the nutrients. So I use Cronometer with my clients. It is a high-end professional food tracking software. And one of the reasons why we use it is because it's extremely accurate. So you get down to 1/100th of a gram of protein, fats, and carbs. And also it shows all the vitamins and minerals that are in these foods as well too. So that's what we're going to look at, is we're going to compare a low calorie, low fat diet to a full day of keto eating and examine the vitamins and minerals that are in these foods. Okay. So it's one of the top things. It's just like a game of telephone out there that people think like, well, it can't be healthy to cut out a whole food group. You can't possibly, it's too restrictive. There's no way that you could possibly get all your nutrient needs met. It's got to be unhealthy. Newsflash, it's not. You can get the thing that we're doing on keto, we're actually just cutting out the foods that have the least amount of nutrition in them. And I'm going to show you some examples in these two diets that we're going to look at. And so I found, let's see, I'm just going to show you the webpage that I found this off of. Let's do a little screen share here for y'all. So if you're listening later only on one of the podcast platforms, I'm going to walk you through verbally what we're looking at here. And we're going to look at this. So this is a, I got to scroll over here. Here we go. Okay. Low calorie, 1-day meal plan. And so it's funny because they say on here that this is a 1,200 calorie meal plan. It says it's actually 1,247 calories. That I plugged it into Cronometer, and it turns out that it's actually 1,369 calories. So it's about 100 calories more than what they say, even more than that. And it says it's only a suggestion, but I wanted to compare this. I wanted to pick a low calorie, low fat weight loss meal plan and compare that nutrient wise. Now I made a couple of adjustments to this, and I'll tell you why. So, but basically they say here that again, this isn't actually 1,200 calories, it's much closer to 1,400 calories actually. But 1 slice of whole wheat bread with 2 teaspoons of jelly. Okay, come on. First of all, 2 teaspoons of jelly on bread and no butter. Okay, that's not going to taste that great, but all right, whatever. Half a cup of shredded wheat with 1 whole cup of milk, low fat, 1% milk, 3/4 of a cup of orange juice, and 1 cup of coffee. So that's what they're suggesting as a breakfast. And I actually chose to, I omitted or I substituted a few foods in this meal plan just because I wanted to show um, what nutrients are actually in these foods. Now, some foods like breakfast cereal, for example, has vitamins and minerals added to it. And I don't think that's a fair comparison. That's like saying you can eat a bowl of sugar and then take a vitamin pill and somehow that makes that healthy. And so I chose oatmeal instead of shredded wheat because shredded wheat is a breakfast cereal that has added vitamins and minerals. And again, if we're going to compare nutritious foods to a keto diet or a low calorie, low fat diet to a keto diet, I wanted to show the nutrients that are actually in these foods, not the ones that the food manufacturers have artificially added to them. That's fair, right? You'd agree that that's fair? And so instead of shredded wheat, again, which is a breakfast cereal with added vitamins and minerals, I chose oatmeal, which is a food that a lot of people would say, oh yeah, that's a very healthy breakfast to eat. And okay, so then for lunch, they have 2 ounces of roast beef on 2 slices of whole wheat bread and 1 leaf of lettuce, 3 slices of tomato, and 1 teaspoon of low-fat mayonnaise. Like, I don't know what the point of 1 teaspoon of low-fat mayonnaise is. It's like waving the jar of mayonnaise on the bread to pretend like there's a little bit of moisture there. I would bet if you made the sandwich with that 1 teaspoon and without it, nobody would ever notice the difference. But they're trying. They thought like we'll just give people a little bit of mayonnaise so they feel like they got some flavor. 1 medium apple, 1 cup of water. You get that dry sandwich and 1 apple and 1 cup of water. I'm making fun of this a little bit because that's one of the things that that I know. I've been following keto for almost 7 years now. And it's one of the big differences. My clients tell me this every day is like the food is so delicious. It's so tasty. It's so satiating and satisfying. Whereas, so I'm poking fun at this meal plan because we've all been there. We've all tried this. And you know this is not going to be satisfying. You may be full physically, but you're still going to be craving more after this. Okay, so yes, I'm going to make fun of this low-fat meal plan. What chronometer app do you recommend? There's only one. Linda's asking which chronometer app do I use? It's Cronometer without the H, so Cronometer. There's an app store and you can use the desktop version of it as well too. So that's the one that I use with my clients. And okay, so then their dinner is 2 ounces of salmon cooked in 1.5 teaspoons of oil, vegetable oil, 1.5 teaspoons, tiny little, just a smidge of oil in there. Oh, you know what? They have 3/4 of a baked potato. Okay, this is fun. You have to bake a whole potato, but then you have to cut off 1/4 of it. And I don't know what you're going to do with that, but I just realized I have that incorrect in my food log here. So I've got to change that. I put all this in here for you all before we went live here. So, okay, that's going to adjust things a little bit. The calories went down slightly. So, all right, let me go back to the meal plan. Okay, so yeah, so 3/4 of a medium baked potato and 1 teaspoon of margarine. Again, like just they're trying to pretend like they're putting some flavor on here, but 1 teaspoon of margarine is not going to do anything for that potato to make it edible. Half a cup of green beans, half a cup of carrots, 1 small white dinner roll. This is another change that I made because white bread is fortified, meaning it's so low in nutrients to begin with, they actually add some vitamins and minerals back into it. So again, I want to compare and show you that whole foods based keto diet without any added vitamins and minerals to the foods is going to be just as nutritious, maybe more than approximately 1,200 calorie low fat meal plan. Okay, so instead of the white roll, I used white rice when I entered it in Cronometer for the meal plan I'm going to compare to, because that's something that I did something the same amount of calories, the same amount of carbohydrates as a white dinner roll, but not with the added vitamins and minerals that are in the typical white bread. and 1 cup of unsweetened iced tea, and then 2 cups of water. I don't know who made this meal plan, but that's, you got to drink 3 cups of liquid with your dinner there. It's kind of silly, right? And then you get a snack of 2.5 cups of popcorn. I'm assuming it's air popped with 3/4 of a teaspoon of margarine. Okay, just for fun, why don't you go in your kitchen and try to scoop up 3/4 of a teaspoon of butter or margarine, whatever you have on hand, and then laugh about how little that is. I don't even know what the point of putting that on there is. It's just pretending like you've got some. So anyways, that's the meal plan that we're going to compare. And so let me pull up my Cronometer analysis of that meal plan. And again, so it's 1,329 calories based on Cronometers, accurate information. And we're going to add that screen share here. And, click on the right one. I got to add a different one. There we go. Screen share. We're going to do this tab. We're going to do, I think it's this one. I've got 2 Chrome tab or Cronometers open. So let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So I put this in to Cronometer. And again, this is the professional grade tracking software that the reason I use it with my clients is that it not only shows vitamins and minerals, which we'll go through down here, but it also is so accurate with the proteins, fats, and carbs that it gives you down to 1/100th of a gram of those items, whereas all your other software is just rounded off based on what's on the nutrition label. So Cronometer is fantastic because they actually subscribe to real nutrient databases. So it shows you what's really in the food, not what the label tells you is in the food. So, all right, so let's go through, so I put these in the bread, the 2 teaspoons of jelly, 3/4 of a cup of orange juice, cup of low-fat milk. And again, I made the modification. I put oatmeal in here, 1 serving of oatmeal instead of the cereal, again, because the cereal has added vitamins and minerals. And if we're going to really look at what nutrients are in real foods, let's compare real foods to real foods. And okay, so that dry bleep sandwich that's there with 1 teaspoon of low-fat mayonnaise, and the margarine's got to go down here with the popcorn. Okay, and then 2 ounces of salmon. That's another fun little thing is like, go and look at 2 ounces of salmon. It's going to be about 3 bites of salmon. It's a tiny little bit. They want you to fry it in vegetable oil, 3/4 of a baked potato, green beans, carrots. Again, I swapped out rice for the dinner roll because that was a fairer assessment instead of just added vitamins and minerals. Tea, tap water, and then we've got popcorn and a tiny little smidge of margarine. And okay, so we can see that this is about 1,329 calories, 214 carbs, 28 grams of fat, and only 61.9, so almost 62 grams of protein, which is kind of the lowest end of how much protein women should get. And let's look at the nutrient breakdown. So we can see that we're meeting 100% of these vitamins. It's low in folate. Folate is in things that are actually one of the things that's nice about Cronometer is you can hover over it and it will tell you. So, I realize now that this orange juice that's in here has folate in it as well. So if we picked fresh squeezed juice, it's going to be much lower than that. So vitamin A, the other caution in here. So this shows that 55% of this vitamin A is coming from carrots. It's not the same vitamin A that our body needs, though. And so all of this vitamin A that's showing here is not actually bioavailable to us. Our body has to convert it to a different type. So it's actually kind of a false amount of vitamin A that's in there. It's actually beta carotene, which is not the same as vitamin A. That's a whole other topic. And so vitamin E, it's pretty low on. We're not even getting all the amount of vitamin K. So I did a quiz earlier here about what nutrients are of concern on a low-fat diet, and they are vitamin A, D, E, and K. And you can see here that vitamin A, again, most of it's coming from the carrots, and this is not a fair comparison. That beta carotene has to be converted into vitamin A, and we're really, really inefficient at doing that. And so you basically only get about 12% of what it shows here as what you can convert into real vitamin A in our body. And so if we look at the second amount here, it's coming from that cup of milk that they give you in this meal plan. And so vitamin E and vitamin K are low on this because this is a low fat plan. And most of the vitamin E is coming from that whole wheat bread, which means that's actually fortified. It's been added to that because whole wheat bread isn't known for being high in vitamin E. This is pretty low in calcium. Typically, these low-fat meal plans, they'll give you 1 cup of milk for every meal in order to try to meet that calcium. While they would say it's good that you're under on sodium, it turns out that we actually need much more sodium than we think. So I don't see this as a good thing. Sodium is just a mineral, and it's something that our body needs, just like we need calcium and copper and iron and all these other minerals. So being low on your sodium intake is not the good thing that we've been told that it is. Okay, so that is our analysis of that low-fat weight loss diet. Let's now take a look at what a typical day of a keto meal plan would be for my clients. And we're going to now, I want to put this over here. So I'm actually going to close out that one so that I can look at this. Bear with me while I change my screens behind the scenes. All right. So again, my whole reason I'm here today is to dispel the myth that following keto, cutting out carbs, which means we're cutting out grains, we're cutting out most fruits. I wanted to leave these up here and show you actually, because I will pull that back up actually, and we're gonna look at the fact that the foods that we're eliminating on keto are not the ones that are the most nutritious foods, despite what we think, right? So we often think fruits are so healthy. We need lots and lots of fruits to be really healthy. We need lots of grains. Whole grains are especially nutritious. And so I'm going to share with you. Let's do that first. Let's just do that right now. Let's look back at that meal plan. Okay, so let's just start to break this down, that when we cut out foods, I think it's going to be this one. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's just go into that. You need a balanced diet. You need whole grains, and you need fruits, and you need lots and lots of vegetables. We don't want to admit those. This is the myth, okay? So people think that the foods that we're removing on keto somehow confer lots of vitamins and minerals. But let's look at this, okay? So the cool thing about Cronometer is I can click on a food and it's going to give us the nutrient breakdown of that. Okay, so whole wheat bread. Oh, whole grains are super nutritious, right? Let's go look. Look at that. It's pathetic. Look how little nutrition is in whole wheat bread. The only thing it gets a B on is this manganese, but you're not getting a lot of nutrients with that, okay? The other thing, let's look at this apple, okay? Fruits are so healthy for us. We got to have lots and lots of fruits because they're so healthy. They're so nutritious. Look at this. Do you know apples they're basically nutritionally void. You get a little bit of vitamin C, 11% of your daily intake. But otherwise, apples just taste good. They're full of sugar. 25 grams of carbs is the equivalent of 5 teaspoons of sugar. Actually, that's wrong. There's 4 grams per teaspoon. Let me do the math. So 25 grams of carbs divided by 4. I should know that off the top of my head, right? That's 6 1/4 teaspoons of sugar. So the next time you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm missing out by not having an apple because it has so many vitamins and minerals in it, you're missing out on a blip of these vitamins and minerals, and 6 1/4 teaspoons of sugar is what you're missing out on. Right? So fruit is nature's candy. apples are not full of vitamins and minerals. I hate to break the news to you, but they're not. Okay, let's look at some of these other ones that we would not eat on keto. Potatoes actually, surprisingly, are pretty nutritious. That's a surprise to a lot of people. There was a whole country. I'm primarily Irish, and our people lived on potatoes when they didn't have a lot of other food. And it's got a third of the day's vitamin potassium. Potatoes are much higher in potassium than bananas. Did you know that? Almost a third of your day of vitamin B6, but also, not staggeringly high in a lot of other nutrients. You've got a couple key nutrients. You get a little dose of that. But still the equivalent of over 6 teaspoons of sugar is what that potato is going to give you. So that one is a little bit more nutritious, but frankly, potatoes only taste good when they're fried, right? Or we put tons of fat with them. And so this is a low-fat diet. And so the potato's going to, I challenge you, baked potatoes with no fat on them, those aren't tasty. Nobody likes those. But of the carbs on this meal plan, this one is the most nutritious. But again, nobody's eating them by themselves. They're eating them fried like French fries or mashed potatoes and butter and gravy and all this other kind of stuff. So the other one that we would not have on keto would be these carrots, relatively high in carbohydrates. Now this is only half a cup. So some people on keto will have carrots. If you have the portion size small enough, this could be something that you may have. And again, it's pretty low in nutrients except for this vitamin A count. Again, this is a more complicated topic than I wanted to get into, but it's not vitamin A. It's actually beta carotene, which is the plant-based version of vitamin A. Our body actually has to cut that beta carotene in half and convert it into vitamin A, which is what our human bodies need. We're not very efficient at doing that. And so therefore we don't actually get 12,000 IUs of vitamin A from that much beta carotene. So this is one thing that's like an error in the way that this shows, but unfortunately it's just one of the errors in the way that nutrition is, that some nutrients, for example, vitamin A, only comes from animal sources. And so that kind is in the type that our body already needs, and it absorbs easily. We don't have to convert it. We don't lose any in the process as well. So that's just, I'll leave it at that for now. And, but otherwise, again, some people do have carrots occasionally on keto. But you can see that besides the beta carotene that's in here, we're not missing a lot of other nutrients from carrots. White rice, also something that we would not have on keto. And you can also see that, it is not full of vitamins and minerals. You're not missing out on anything here. Popcorn. Okay. So that's another thing that we would remove on keto. Also pretty nutritionally dead. Like there's not a lot going on in there. Okay. Margarine, that could be okay on keto. I don't recommend it because margarine is not healthy. It's hydrogenated and it's just kind of garbage food. So, you're not missing any nutrients there, but also that's not specifically something that we wouldn't have on keto. Okay. Oatmeal. I forgot to click on that one as well. Also, it's a good source of manganese, and it's got almost 20% of your day's need of vitamin B1, thiamine. So it's got a few nutrients in there. Of all the carbs on this, it might be, it's kind of similar to the potato. Maybe it's got some nutrients in there. But we've got some other foods that are going to be higher in nutrients for you here. And also, to be fair, this is a formulated low-fat diet that's trying to meet most of the nutrient needs. So that's what dietitians will do, is they'll create a meal plan that tries its best to try to meet all your vitamin and mineral needs. Okay. And most people that I work with, I would bet most people out there, you as well, before you tried keto, you're not eating this. You're not eating like this. You're probably, having some cereal for breakfast, or maybe you're going and grabbing a Starbucks breakfast muffin, or maybe you just have some kind of like a Costco muffin or something like that. Lunch isn't going to be this nutritious as either. Your dinner, maybe fast food, maybe pizza, maybe a burger. And I didn't even go to the lengths of analyzing one of those diets to show you what would be more realistic, what people are eating, right? So we're comparing a very well formulated low fat diet, weight loss diet, to a keto diet to show that, the keto diet is not lacking in nutrients that you think it would be. And so again, this is people are afraid that keto's unhealthy, that I'm missing nutrients, and it can't be balanced diet when we're cutting out this whole food group of carbohydrates or a whole macronutrient category. And the truth is that what people are eating before they come to work with me is far less healthy than this 1,200 calorie or this low fat diet that we're looking at. That's not really 1,200 calories. And what I'm going to show you. Okay. So, are you starting to see here that the foods that we're cutting out, that we're eliminating on keto? Oh, this is another one we forgot to show you. Is this the foods that we're eliminating on keto are the ones that are the lowest in vitamins and minerals. And when we cut those out, then you're left with the foods that are the most nutritious. Okay, so let's look at orange juice. Again, very little of anything in there but vitamin C. And you're also getting the equivalent of 5 teaspoons of sugar in 1/3 of a cup of orange juice. And if you're drinking orange juice, let's be fair, you're probably having a lot more than 3/4 of a cup of orange juice. So again, just to show you how we are not removing foods that are full of vitamins and minerals, we're actually picking the ones that we're removing, the ones that are low in nutrients. All right, so let's pull up a day of keto eating now. So share with me. I'm going to close that so that I can pick the right one. We're going to go for this. All right, so here is a very typical day of what I would have my clients do. So if you're new to the show, I recommend my clients start with 20 total carbs, not net, total carbs. So we've got here 3 meals for you. Let's just look at the macronutrient breakdown. So we're at 19.8 total carbs and 97 grams of protein. I found for my clients that they feel much better. They don't lose their hair. Their skin and nails are healthy. They have better appetite control, lower cravings for carbohydrates when their protein is up closer to 100 or higher. So 97 is a good amount of protein that my clients find works really well for them. And so this is the calorie count on this is very similar to that low fat diet. So 1366, very, very close. We're under 20 total grams of carbohydrates. So let's look at the foods that would be a very typical day of eating for my clients. And so we've got 2 eggs cooked however you like, a slice of bacon, coffee with 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. This is heavenly when you try it. A third of an avocado. We actually are adding salt. So when you're in ketosis, one of my previous episodes, episode number 4. So go back to episode number 4. It's where I talk all about salt and how our need on that, a need for salt on keto is much higher. So we're actually supplementing, adding salt in. And so for lunch, I've got here some lean pork loin. I imagine this could be sliced very thinly to make sort of a breadless sandwich out of that. It's pretty common. So you could take the leaves of romaine and use that as your bread. So if you want something handheld as a sandwich, it's totally doable. But otherwise, you could just also chop that up, and it could be the other toppings for this could just be like a dinner salad or an entree salad here. So you could, thinly slice this pork and make a sandwich out of it, or you could just chop it up and put it on top of the lettuce as a salad. And 2 whole slices of real cheese, not low fat cheese, but real cheese, and some mayonnaise. So again, I envision this. I tried to mimic the other meal plan as best as I could. I mean, there's not going to be a replacement for oatmeal or anything like that, but thinking of this as a sandwich like they've got there. So this is about the amount of romaine lettuce that would make 2 leaves to cover the outside, a tablespoon of mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, 2 ounces of cheese, and 3 ounces of pork loin would make a nice, really delicious sandwich there. And then for dinner, 4 ounces of salmon. So whereas in the other one, you're only getting tiny little sliver, 2 ounces of salmon. This one, you get 4 ounces, a nice big hearty piece of salmon, tablespoon of butter. Wow, it's not this margarine or low fat stuff or anything like that. We're having real butter and a whole tablespoon of it instead of like 3/4 of a teaspoon. Remember in that other meal plan where it had 3/4 of a teaspoon? Of course, we're not needing to limit fat on this. We're not trying to do low fat, but it's just so much more satiety that's going to come from this. We actually have hormones in our gut that sense fat intake, cholecystokinin, so CCK. As soon as that fat hits our intestines, it actually blunts our appetite. And this is part of why my clients on keto find that they have a level of satiety when they're eating that they've never really experienced. And you don't get activation of that CCK on a low fat diet. So I hope this is an aha for a lot of you, is that when you're eating a low fat diet, you just feel like you want to gnaw on your arm all the time. You might feel physically full from the bulk of the food in your gut, but you still never feel like you're really truly full. And so on keto, so a lot of my clients will find, so hey, this is 1,300 and some calories. They may find that they don't even need to eat all this amount of food because they get so much satiety from that CCK activation from the higher fat intake. And okay, so there's broccoli here, which you could put the butter on top of the broccoli, or you could put the butter on top of the salmon. I like it on both personally. I add these hemp seeds in here. These are a nice nutrient dense keto friendly seed that you can have. I put the tea in here as well because that was on the other meal plan, and we're going to have some salt. I didn't bother putting the water in there. That doesn't change the nutrient intake or anything like that, or nutrient values. Like there's no vitamins and minerals in water. Hopefully we all know that. And so very similar nutrient profile. And actually I should pull up the other one so we can, I don't know that I can do that on my streaming platform here, that I can show you both of them side by side. But a lot of these nutrient numbers, vitamins and minerals, are higher than what it was on that low fat plan. And there's some of these that very easily could be full on. So for example, vitamin E, I don't recommend people have nuts and seeds in the very beginning of keto just because they're hard not to overeat. But for example, just 1 ounce of almonds will get you your full day supply of vitamin E. So it's very easy to still stick on keto and meet these nutrient needs. Folate, a little bit more broccoli or lettuce here would actually meet that nutrient need as well. And this was also similarly low. This was even lower on the low fat meal plan that we looked at. Calcium, you could have, and this is actually higher than on the low fat plan as well. And potassium, let's see. So we don't need bananas for potassium. The highest, let's see, keto friendly foods that are the highest in potassium are going to be fish, all kinds of fish, avocado. These hemp seeds are also high in potassium. So let's look here. So that 4 tablespoons of hemp seeds give you 480 milligrams of potassium. That's more than a banana. The salmon also gives you about the same amount of potassium. The pork also has that in it, and broccoli and the avocado. And so, it's very easy to get a full day supply of potassium as well on keto and stay there. So, So is this kind of blowing your mind to show, like, were you expecting that high fat keto diet when you cut out a whole macronutrient? Were you expecting to see that these bars of vitamins and minerals would be down there, like when we were looking at like the each of those high carb foods that we're eliminating? Are you surprised to see how high in nutrients this meal plan is? Does it surprise you that you can actually get all of your vitamins and mineral needs and stay under 20 total carbs a day? Also, I would love to know, does it kind of blow your mind that apples aren't full of vitamins and minerals? And, that plan didn't have a ton of fruits and vegetables on it, but you would find something very similar if we looked at, if you were eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, they're not going to be full of vitamins and minerals. It's really a myth that's pervasive out there. People out there, your doctor, other nutritionists and dietitians, they're out there sharing this message that keto's unhealthy and you're missing nutrients on it. It's not sustainable because it's not a healthy diet long term. They have not done this. They have not taken the time to put together a well-formulated ketogenic diet. Me as a board certified keto nutrition specialist, I also have a master's degree in nutrition, and I also have a bachelor's degree in nutrition. I know how to actually help my clients eat a well-formulated keto diet. Notice we're not having 4 tablespoons of butter and coffee here. We're actually eating some real food, and these are very nutritious foods, right? So, eggs, for example, look at how many nutrients you're getting with just 2 eggs. People don't realize how healthy those are for us. The bacon, it's only 1 strip. It's not going to blow us away there, but it's pretty darn tasty. The whipping cream actually has a pretty good amount of vitamin A, and this is the type of vitamin A that our body needs, and so this actually counts more than the other vitamin A or in carrots. Avocados also little bit there. They've got some of the potassium we were looking at. Pork loin. So one of the other big myths out there is that plant-based foods are healthy for us. So fruits and vegetables are the ones with lots of vitamins and minerals. But look at this pork. Look at how many things are close to 50% or higher on just, what did I do? 3 ounces of pork. That's not very much. And so meat products, animal-based foods are the ones that are the highest in vitamins and minerals. Does that blow your mind too? And cheese, look at that. Look at the cheese, 2 ounces of cheese. Did you know cheese had that much nutrients in it? The lettuce, it's a small amount. It's not going to blow us away, but look at how much vitamin A is in just that tiny little bit of lettuce. Also vitamin K as well is in the lettuce. Salmon is also really nutritious. Look at how good we're doing with that salmon. Butter gives us some vitamin A a little bit, but it's just a tablespoon. It's not much. I'm not expecting that to do much here. One of the things that's really surprising, people think that you have to have orange juice or oranges to get vitamin C, but broccoli is an exceptionally vitamin C rich food. So not only vitamin C, it's got a little vitamin A, and it's doing pretty darn good with our vitamin K there on broccoli as well. And another keto friendly food that's very high in vitamin C is red peppers. Like 1/3 of a cup of red pepper is also going to meet your vitamin C needs for the day. So we don't need to have those fruits that we thought we need to have. These hemp seeds also, look at these little powerhouse nutrient things. So these are a plant-based food. There are some good amount of minerals in them. So I like those as a nutrient booster that's real whole foods. The tea, that was just a carryover from the other one. It's got some manganese in there, but that was in the other meal plan as well too. So what do you think? What do you think? What are your biggest ahas here about looking at how many nutrients are actually in a well-formulated, tasty, delicious keto meal plan compared to maybe what you thought, what myths you thought are out there, how much we're told that fruits, whole grains, and lots of vegetables are necessary to meet all our nutrient needs. What do you think? What do you think? Well, that is my purpose. I have served my goal here. That was, again, what I came here to do today, was to talk about the myth, to dispel the great myth that is pervasive out there. The only people that are telling you that a keto diet is unhealthy, that you can't meet your nutrient needs, that are telling you that it's not healthy or nutritious to cut out a whole macronutrient group. You need fruits and vegetables to be healthy. The only people that are telling you that have not done this. They have not put a standard meal plan that they would eat into Cronometer. They have not actually put a keto diet into Cronometer either to check the vitamins and minerals. So when you take the time to do that, it's really easy to see that we're not missing out. We're not missing vitamins and minerals. We're not missing key nutrients by cutting out bread, rice, fruits. We are cutting out the foods that have low nutrition, high sugar, and focusing on foods that are the most nutritious. So I would love to hear your ahas. I would love to see a little steam come out your ears or your head emoji. That's a lot of times the work that I do with my clients. They really have a big aha with this because they believe that the myth that we've been told that fruits and vegetables and whole grains are super healthy for us, but it turns out it's just a game of telephone. Do you remember that game of telephone as a kid where you just pass the message along? Nobody's actually fact checking this. They just believe it to be true. And It's not. It's a lie. It's the biggest lie out there. So, okay. No, it's not the biggest lie out there. But in nutrition, it's up there. It's one of the, I think it's one of the worst ones. So, rest assured, if you're doing keto the right way, if you're following a well-formulated keto diet, you can absolutely meet all your nutrient needs. So, well, what are we talking about in our next episode? I don't know yet. It's going to be a surprise. So if you have a topic you'd like me to cover, I would love for you to pop it in the comments. Let me know, what are some of your top keto questions, concerns, the myths that are out there, or challenges or struggles that you have. That's what I'm here, providing education and information, dispelling all the myths, getting the correct information about how to actually do well-formulated keto diet and lose weight, and addressing the psychology of how to actually keep it off. Because that's the hardest part, right? So again, today, dispelled the myth that when you cut out carbohydrate-rich foods that you're missing key nutrients. I showed you how a well-formulated keto diet can absolutely meet all your vitamins and mineral needs every day. And I'm so glad you're here. So if you're struggling on keto, if you're struggling to stick with it, how to do it right, how to get it to work for you, check out my website, ketocarol.com. Carol has an E on the end. It's a very fancy French spelling of it. So ketocarol.com, you can read more about me and see if I might be a fit for you, help you on your keto journey. So remember, share with your friends too if you found this informative, interesting, entertaining. Let me know, share with your friends, because sharing is caring. And if you help us grow, we'll help you shrink. Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you soon. Bye now.